Good evening and welcome to another live broadcast of Number Station. Number Station is an online radio station that trawls the sea of kilohertz for amateur radio transmissions as well as any shortwave oddities that we might discover. Tonight, this evening, we're going to try and intercept some transmissions from space, while also trying to decode any Morse code signals that we might encounter. Now, to do this, in previous shows I've mentioned that I've been experimenting with various pieces of software with varying degrees of success. But an easy one to use, the others are really complicated, some of them. But an easy one I've found is one called CW Get, and it's what you're seeing on the screen at the minute. And this will tick away, chirping away as it does, trying to decode anything that it hears going through this show. Most of it is going to be gibberish, but when we do happen to stumble on some CW Morse code transmissions, I'll quiet everything so there's no interference and allow it to hopefully decode what we're hearing. But before we get to that stage, we have to fire up our web SDRs. And there are many web SDRs, as we've been learning over these shows, but one in particular we're going to use this evening, and it's the one you're seeing on screen at the minute. This is to do with a particular satellite, geostationary satellite, which means it's fixed in one place above the Earth. But there are lots of elements to this that I don't want to confuse myself over, I'll be honest, and I definitely don't want to confuse and bamboozle listeners this evening. But let's look at this satellite as a repeater. And for those who don't know what a repeater is, let's boil that down into its simplest form. A repeater is basically two radios. So imagine these two radios in a box, and this box is placed on top of a hill. Now, I have my radio about 20 miles away, but I can still see this hill, and I'm able to transmit to that hill. But I can't transmit any further because it goes over the horizon. So what the repeater does, or what one of the radios does in that box, it receives my transmission. It then passes it to the second radio, which then transmits it on further beyond the horizon, allowing my transmission to reach further afield, to cover more distance. Now imagine that box in space. I can transmit up. It hits that box, that receiving radio receives it, passes it to the second radio where it beams it down, it transmits it down on the other side of the world. The ISS is a repeater and you can listen to it. I've tried and failed though many times. But we're going to pick another satellite to do this. We're not going to try the ISS, although it is a goal of mine to be able to do that, and we'll do it one day, I'm sure. But tonight we're going to use the QO100 satellite, and this, as I said, is a geostationary satellite, and I believe it's sat above Africa, Central Africa, and it covers a vast amount of area on the globe, mainly Europe, if I'm honest, mainly Europe and Africa. And what we can do, we can listen into that repeater. We can actually hear the traffic going through that box, like any repeater on the Earth or in space. We can actually dial in and listen to what's being said or what's going through that repeater box. And this is what this web SDR is doing. It's listening into the traffic that's going through that satellite, which is really cool. The links, by the way, are in the description. If you want to give this a go, by all means, the links are in the description so you can try it yourself as well. All you need is an internet connection and a browser, just like I'm doing. And you can see the all familiar waterfall. We can see what transmissions are going through it. So I'm going to shut up for a minute or two. I'm going to start the sound and I'm going to listen to what we can, hopefully we can pick up something as we're listening in on the transmissions going through this satellite. You're listening to Number Station, the online radio station that trawls the sea of kilohertz for amateur radio transmissions and shortwave oddities. We had a bit of success decoding that Morse code that we managed to intercept from this satellite. Now, I have a problem with setting all this up. And the problem I have is that the way different applications on my computer interact with one another. So you can see CW Get trying to translate my voice, when ideally I would like to hook it in directly to that WebSDR. And that is possible. That's entirely possible using something called virtual audio cables. And I had a go at this week and I completely stuffed it up. So much so that it caused so many problems with my online streaming software. It made a right old mess. So I'm hoping the sound levels are sort of back to what everybody is used to. And I'm still trying to figure out how to tap in directly to this WebSDR's audio feed to make it cleaner, to make it more reliable when it's trying to decode something, when it hears some CW Morse code transmissions. But you can see that we got something there. We got the odd word, which is a good start. It's not ideal, it's far from perfect, but it proves that we're trying to do something right. It's sort of working, isn't it? Okay, if you've made it this far, thank you. I'll be very grateful if you could hit the subscribe button on the if you're watching this via YouTube Live. Hitting that subscribe button or hitting that like button really does, honestly, it really does help the channel out. And I'm so grateful for everyone who stops by to listen live or stops by to listen on catch up throughout the week between the live broadcasts on every Sunday evening at 6 p.m. UK time. So please do consider subscribing if you haven't already. Apparently 2/3 of the listeners to Number Station haven't subscribed. Are you one of them? If so, please hit that subscription button, and it would really help me out. Don't forget we have a website as well, numberstation.co.uk, and you can listen to some of the recordings from our archive. It'll randomly play on a loop some random archived recordings from our collection. Whilst also we have our mixer, our mixer, but also the option to apply for some stickers, some radio listener stickers. So if you haven't already got one, I've sent quite a few out. Happy to do it for free for you guys. Just drop me a line, follow the link below, drop me a line, and I'll pop some in the post to you. It's not a problem at all. It'd be my pleasure and my way of just saying thank you for stopping by and thank you for listening to the show. Last week spoke about the online mixer that I've been slowly putting together, and I've made it live. It takes a while to buffer because it's loading in so much of the archived recordings, but you can see there we are about 1/3 of the way through, so I've got a little bit longer to waffle on. I think we'll park this WebSDR for the time being. We're mainly receiving French language transmissions and a few Morse code transmissions, but we'll hop on over to our our more faithful web SDRs that we're more familiar with and we've been using since this show started. I think it was March time. So this is our station mixer, and you can get to it via the website numberstation.co.uk. And the idea behind it is I wanted to keep it as simple as possible to use. So all you need to do is click on one of these three dots to select your ambient track, like so. And then you can use your arrow keys, or you can use the mouse to try and tune in and find the transmissions yourself, like so. So we'll just pause for a few minutes and let's listen to some of our archived recordings via the Number Station station mixer.
Virginia, you're 519. Dynamite from Italy 5, Italy Delta Kilo, Roger. WP Semper Pi from Italy Navy Costa Radio Station. Italia Whisky 8, Radio Papa Quebec, 659 in la parità di Livorno, Roger. Ciao, grazie che te, a presto, Gianluca. Italy 5, Italy Delta Kilo, chiusa.
Bei dem neuen Badezimmer ist das jetzt noch alles auf den Dachboden gekommen. Das heißt, wir haben jetzt diese ganze Technik auf dem Dachboden. Und da wir nachts nochmal die
So there's the station mixer, just a quick demo of what's gone live over the last couple of days. So to get there, all you click on is the Mix Your Own link about halfway down the website, the Number Station website at numberstation.co.uk. Let's trawl some more live transmissions now. Let's head on over to our usual web SDR to see what we can find this evening.
only station from Sicily Island. The only 40 meters, we have checked 40 meters.
Secure that. And then Charlie. Papa Delta 1 Whiskey Charlie, you are 5 by 9 Rene, roger. Thank you for nice report in 73, Italy go back 5, Papa Juliet. Echo India 5, Hotel, X-Ray Bravo. You are 5 by 9, Albert, roger? Arrivederci, ciao and thank you. Italy, Quebec 5, Papa Juliet. Italy, Quebec 5, Papa Juliet. Italy, Quebec 5, Papa Juliet. Marconi 150, QRZ. Italy, Quebec 5, Papa Juliet. Italy, Quebec 5, Papa Juliet. Marconi 150, QRZ. Italy, Quebec 5, Papa Juliet. Italy, Quebec 5, Papa Juliet. Marconi 150, QRZ.
To invite me to drink a glass of wine. By the way, I have done wine for many years, because my father-in-law, where I was living before, was a farmer, and for your information, he had
So again, we tried to pick up some CW transmissions with very little success once again, although we did manage to get some sort of a few words. Where are we? A few words. We managed to get a few words out of the transmissions. If you're wanting to try it yourself, CW Get is free to download. Hopefully you have better success in decoding some messages compared with myself this evening. And on the web SDR, on the waterfall, you can see which ones are CW Morse code transmissions, because you can literally see the dits and dars, the dots and dashes, like here for example. You can actually spot them in the waterfall, which makes them really easy to identify, and you can home in and tune in and zone in on them. Let's finish up this evening by trying to listen in on some transmissions that are a little closer to home. So we're going to hop on over to our second web SDR that we usually use, and let's have a listen.
diamond on top. Well, I want to do more or less the same at the other end of the garden, so I can use it coming through the bedroom. So there's one bedroom bungalow. So, but basically, I wanted a pole, an aerial pole. So I'd seen online, went to B&Q. I know there's a few places, tool stations, Screwfix, but they got this 6-foot pole, and I got there. It's aluminium. Well, the ones I've got here are steel. And I thought, good grief, it felt like you could pick it up with your little finger, and I know it's only the parasol base, but I thought, I'm not sure about that really, because I intend this one, when I'm on now, I put away, when I finish using it all, collapse it all, and the antenna a lot, but this other one I thought I'll leave outside, and I thought, I don't know, it didn't seem very robust, so I've looked online at some steel ones, and they're actually delivered.
Well, keep up and think about that. That's been, there's quite a few of us that keep up and think about it. That's been got revoked. So, they try these things and everything, but they're going to have to, this is what I said also, they're going to have to interact, computers into radio, because the younger generation, they don't know what radio is. They're brought up around computers, the internet and everything. You don't need a license for that. They don't know anything about it, I mean, my kids, if I was to show my youngest one now, she wouldn't know what radio is, and that's the way it's going. Like, a lot of these duplex repeaters just sat there identing every 15 minutes, just wasting power because they're not being used. It has to be, the hobby has to move on with the times, you know what I mean? Who is your SGG? Absolutely. You know what, I was talking to my niece Sophie last week, and I said, I've got my, it was last week before, a couple of weeks ago, I said, I've passed my next level, I've got my foundation license, I'm talking to people all around the world now on the, the station I've got really. And she said, you can do that on the internet. And it's like, well, yeah, but this is the point of it, ultimately, you suddenly improve the internet. Of course, you can do it on a mobile phone as well. But it's very difficult to try and sell the excitement of setting up a station and being able to transmit over the air, potentially without any electricity, if you're running off a battery, and talk to people all around the world, that communication is going to be available without all of the technology that you're relying on at the moment. It is a different world. I used to get really excited about it back in the 80s. I did a bit of single sideband, as I say, albeit a little bit legally. I started on the AM band before the FM CDs came out. And it's only recently I got back into it thinking, I wouldn't mind another crack at that. I really enjoyed it. But in order to keep people interested, you're right. You've got to bring in the whole technical aspect of bringing in computers and different computer modes to keep the whole thing alive. It seems to be fairly lively across parts of Europe, Italy, places down there. America still seems a little bit lively, but it's one of those topics that the will dwindle if you don't keep trying to invent it over and over again.
And we'll leave it there this evening. I hope you've enjoyed our trip around the world and into space this evening. As always, you can listen in on more transmissions from our archive on our Number Station website, numberstation.co.uk. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube Live if you haven't already. Thank you to those who have, and thank you again to our repeat listeners, either in the live show or on catch up throughout the week. It's really appreciated. Take time to explore the website. There's a lot on there, but I hope you enjoyed listening in to these little windows into people's lives, listening into these echoes of the ether. Join me again next week when we'll do the same, and we'll see what we can find when we trawl the sea of a kilohertz next time. Until then, thanks for listening, goodbye, and take care.